So we are seeing this game between two world champions. Alekhine, okay, Alexander Alekhine was white and Emanuel Lasker was black. So very good game. Let's see this one. White Alekhine starts with d4. His opponent Lasker plays d5, c4, and then e6. So Alekhine gave the queen's gambit, okay, the pawn as gambit, but opponent Lasker has not accepted. He declined it. So e6, queen's gambit decline is the name of the opening now. Knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, bishop e7, and then bishop g5. So, okay, before moving e3, some players prefer get the bishop out. Some players prefer keep the bishop inside because sometimes even opponent can come like this or the queen can come here, pin this. So in that case, if the bishop is here is good. Or sometimes they do b3 and then they attack from this diagonal. So they keep the bishop. Okay, like last game we saw, it was just like that, b3 and then bishop b2 was there. Okay, bishop g5, knight bd7. Okay, developing the knight. And the idea of knight bd7, giving support to this. Okay, while playing c5 and giving support to this as well. So if you play knight c6, the problem is you can't play c5 soon. So that's why it's not a good idea. If you don't play that c5, it's very difficult to attack the center. And that's why you need to play c5 in this opening. So knight bd7, e3, giving support to the d4 pawn, opening the bishop, giving support to the c4 with the bishop. Castle, and then rook c1, developing. And the moment when you would exchange this pawn, this would be open file, and it's very good for the rook to control this open file. So c6 gave another support and open the diagonal on this side for the queen. Plus preparing to play this maybe afterwards and stopping knight b5 in some cases. So it's good. Bishop d3, developing the bishop. Okay. Now here black was waiting for him. The moment when he plays this, now he would capture. That's what happens. See, right now, Lasker captured. So what happened? If you wait for this bishop to play at least one more, bishop e2 or bishop d3, and then if you capture, he has to move one more time, the same bishop. Otherwise, he can capture directly from here to here. And then he doesn't have to waste one more. So what is he doing? He is gaining a tempo here. Black got one tempo. White lost one tempo, but white is okay with that. White says okay. Because he cannot just keep on now keep waiting that okay, at some time he will capture, then I'll take this bishop, take c4. No, he has to make castle. For that, he has to move the bishop. So that's fine. Bishop cross c4, knight d5, bishop cross e7. This is a good bishop for black. Okay, and now if you get the chance to exchange, then it's a good thing. So white is happy, Alekhine is happy to exchange this. Bishop cross e7, queen cross e7, and now knight e4. So Alekhine is controlling all these dark squares. Once the bishop is not here, this opponent bishop is not there, he's controlling like this. And yes, he can play f5, but then more weaknesses will happen because this is controlling this. If you move the f5 pawn, then the e6 will be weaker. Here, he played knight 5, f6. So he moved the knight back. He made attack on this knight. And Alekhine said, I don't want to exchange pieces. I want to keep the pieces on the board because I have plans to attack. Okay, so knight is g3, e5. So now he said, okay, let's exchange and let's open this bishop. If you don't play e5, the problem is this bishop is very bad. It's inside the pawn chain and all these pawns are, blocking it. So the bishop becomes very bad because of these pawns. So finally he said, okay, I am doing it. And one more reason to do this is if your king is in the side, okay, which is good. If the opponent's king is still in the center, then you're supposed to open the center. You're supposed to attack in the center, and that you can do only if you exchange the pawns in the center. So for that reason also he has played e5, which is okay. Other than that, he could play queen b4 check also. Okay, that was also very good move. Like queen b4 check. Okay, and then it was a good end game afterwards. Like check, and if he plays queen d2, he can even exchange and all. But anyway, let's see what happened over here. After e5, white played castle. Okay, so Alekhine is not in a hurry to exchange the pawn. He said, okay, let me first castle, because if your king is in the center, you're not supposed to exchange the pawns and open the center. He did this first. The king is safe. Now you do whatever you want. He is okay with that. So e cross d4. And yeah, you can capture it right now. But he said, no. First, let me take one tempo. Knight f5. Attack the queen. Queen has to move somewhere. The queen moved on d8. Okay, queen d8. So knight 3 cross d4. Now he took the pawn. So see, it's not compulsory. Okay, if you are getting something, you don't have to take it on that move. You can take like this after one move or two moves. Okay, if you are very sure. If you are very sure. Otherwise, you'll say, okay, I'll take it afterwards. Let me continue my other plan. No. If you don't get that one there, then you can be, 1 point behind. So you will be in trouble. You have to be very sure. Then only you can do something like this. So understand how do they play. When you are very sure, yeah, I have so many attacks and the pawn is not going anywhere. That time it is okay to do first play knight f5 like Alekhine and attack on the queen. The queen moved. There is no other choice than to move the queen, and then you are very sure that yeah, I'm getting this pawn afterwards. So he did this. Okay, that's what I told you. After that, then black Lasker played knight e5. So the idea is to attack this. He said, okay, I want to exchange the knight with the bishop. And of course, Alekhine likes his bishop. He's not going to give it. He moved the bishop on b3. Now, why b3? Why not on this side? Normally, if the knight is there, it's a good idea to control this and this one from here, because you control all the important squares of that knight. But here, Alekhine wants to attack the king afterwards. So he's saying, I would like to keep the bishop on this diagonal and not over here, where he will not attack, on the king afterwards. So bishop cross f5. Now, Lasker said that bishop is bad anyway, it's not doing that much. And this knight is, giving me trouble, it's coming forward near my king. So I have a choice, just do nothing with the bishop or exchange at least that knight with my bishop. And he said, okay, this is okay and this is the correct one. Here, you can give a bishop for the knight. Understand, you have to compare like this, what you are exchanging with. If that piece is good, you can do that. Okay, you can give your bishop for a knight as well. So knight cross f5, and here he played queen b6. Okay, which is not that good move. Okay, overlooking or underestimating white's next move. He has not seen what white is about to play, and he played this one, which is not good. Okay, now what is white's next move? Which is that good move? Yeah, Alekhine got a very good move here. Okay, it's not easy to find. Normally, we don't move this queen like this ahead because we know that he can attack afterwards on this. But this is the good place, and Alekhine played here very nice move. Why is it so good? Let's see. Here now the threat is to attack. Okay, he has attack on this, so the knight has to move. And there is attack on this which has a support, but anytime he can give this check, the pawn has to move and then he can capture this. That is another threat. Let's see what happens. After queen d6, n e d7. Okay, so this knight moved here. He saved the knight. He has to move, so he moved here. Okay. Now, why didn't he move somewhere else? Why only over here and why not somewhere else? Let's see. Suppose if he goes knight g6, I told you what can happen. He can give this check. Knight h6 check is coming. And if you move the king inside, then knight cross f7 is a move, right? And you cannot take it as the support is there. So that's the problem. So here you have to take it. And if you take it, what is happening? This queen will capture. Queen cross f6. And then if you see the pawn structure, This pawn structure is very bad. The king's position is bad. This pawn is not there, so the king is open, and the opponent's attack is already there. He's already there. Just this rook is also coming any time soon, and he can even play h4, h4, something like that. So there can be a problem, and that's why what happened. He played knight e d7. So he said, okay, I will give support to this. So if the knight comes on h6, I'll get it free because he's not getting my knight. Okay, but then now this knight is not good over here. Right? He's just giving support and doing nothing, which was very good over here in the center. So that is the problem. So if your one problem is there, if you try to solve that, other problems are happening. Okay, after this, rook f d1, then rook a d8. So after this, queen g3 check. I mean, it's about to be a checkmate here. Yeah, queen g3. What is the idea? See, queen g3. The idea is over here to attack this one. Now the threat is queen cross g7 checkmate. He can even play this. Now he cannot capture as the pawn is pinned, and then afterwards he can take it. So queen g3 is a good move. He has to play maybe just he played g6, attacking this, but he cannot take it. So no need to worry about this. Queen g5. Okay, Alekhine came here closer, and he has some plans. So king h8, knight d6. Knight d6 again giving threat over here. f7. So king g7 again come back. e4 idea e5. Then knight g8. Okay, he doesn't want that e5 to come, so he played that. And afterwards, he's about to play this or this, so that's another plan. Rook d3. Now see, Alekhine, more pieces are going towards the king. So Alekhine is like this. He gets all the pieces. He doesn't, go with one or two pieces. He gets all the pieces to attack. So f6, attacking the queen. The more you move the pawns on this side, there are more weaknesses going to happen. And Alekhine would love to attack those. So knight f5, attacking the king check. You can't even take it as it is pinned. So the king has to move. King goes there. Queen cross g6, sacrifice of the queen. Can you believe it? The support is there with the pawn, but he's capturing that. And that you can do only if you know the whole variation. Otherwise, you don't dare to do that. That's why you need to see the whole variation properly. Here, Lasker saw the variation and he understood now he cannot stop it. So he resigned here. Okay, he's not going to play after this. So let's see what can happen. There is this, checkmate coming up, queen g7. So suppose if you capture, then what? Rook h3 check, and you cannot move the king anywhere. So knight h6, and then rook cross h6 is the checkmate. So that's the problem. So after this, suppose you play rook f7 to stop this checkmate, then simply you take it, queen cross f7. And now again, whatever you do, this queen g7 checkmate is not going to stop. Yeah, you can delay it by some more move like queen cross f2, king cross f2, and whatever you play now, queen g7 is a checkmate.